Hey, and welcome to the Board Game Bat Cave. We're back again this week with Family Business, a very old card game which we recently broke back out and decided to review, and for good reason because it's a fun game. So we're going to cut right to the chase since it's a small game. We have a small review, and we'll start over here with components.
Components, there's not a lot to this game, just cards. They're well done, good card stock, and I like the graphics on them. I thought they were pretty good. But components, nothing that's just going to jump out at you in this game. They do the job well, and they look good. So I'm going to go 7. You know, good quality, but nothing great though.
Now this game came out back in 1982, I think.
Wow.
And it's obviously very popular to stick around that long, and Mayfair's not cutting you any slack on the price. So maybe a little bit. You can find it on a deal every once in a while. But I've been looking for this game for probably 2 years, trying to find it at the right price. And Gen Con, I couldn't pass it up. So components-wise, though, this is like Lost Legacy or a Love Letter. The only component, it's a card game. It's a macro game. And so components to me, as long as you don't make them out of cardboard,
yeah,
they're going to be
like
good.
And we've seen cheap card components for other games, so they didn't cheap up on them. I mean, this is a hold-up game. The components you get are well made.
Yeah, and I was saying last night when we were playing that the artwork, and I may be
cool,
wrong.
actually.
I like the artwork, but it seems like the action cards and the criminal
I didn't
cards.
notice that. Yeah, because the faces almost look like a court.
Yeah.
Artist would draw the faces and everything. They do, but then the action cards are cartoony.
And so it kind of threw me, and I was like, maybe
I didn't
that's
even
to
notice
help
it
you.
last night.
But
Yeah.
I really like the artwork of the criminals.
Yeah.
But I wish they would have stuck with one theme throughout.
But it seems like I like the criminal cards the way they were, and if they would have tried to go realistic on the action cards, it would have been weird. I like the cartoony aspect of it, but I'm glad they didn't go cartoony on the character, the portraits. I think maybe that's why they did it.
Maybe, and some of the characters looked more realistic than others.
Yeah.
But overall, I really like the artwork, and that's what I have to go on when it's a card game. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
For that long speech, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 also.
Cool.
Well, if you've watched any of our reviews for any amount of time, you know this is the Board Game Bat Cave, home of the stellar game review. So stuff usually gets pretty high ratings. So even though this is going to sound a little low compared to some of our other ratings, I'm just going to kind of echo their same sentiments. There's nothing wrong with what you get, but at the same time, there's nothing that's special about it or memorable about it. So I'm going to put it in at a 6.5. Sounds low, but it's a good enough rating. It gives you what you need, and I thought the artwork was okay. I have to admit, I didn't even really notice the difference in the styles until it was pointed out. But then once it's pointed out, it's kind of obvious actually.
Yeah.
So I do think maybe there was a reason. Maybe they wanted to keep it from being a little too heavy. They wanted to lighten it up a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure, but anyway, 6.5 components.
But before we go on, and I gave you a 7, and I'm not going to change that score, but I really don't know what I would have wanted more out of the components to score it higher. I mean, they gave me one. Well,
the game's been around for 30-something years,
yeah.
so I don't think they need my suggestions.
Yeah, right.
But I honestly don't know what they could have done different on the, unless they would have added a totally different part of the game. What they did.
It's kind of like, guillotine, the game guillotine.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly like that, where you have a card that stands up here, and you get the line of people getting killed or whatever. And so, guillotine, they put that neat little cardboard guillotine that you got there.
Yeah.
And they did do with the box where you could stand it, but even though the rules, they tell you to stack the boxes to make a brick wall to stand against.
So you think
they don't even make it a brick wall. It's like got the name on it.
So maybe if they could have actually on the back of the box had like a bullet-ridden brick wall, like an alleyway where you could. Okay, yeah.
And you
See,
have
no,
a-
they could have done that.
Listen,
Put a
Mayfair.
little, a little tray, a little slot. You put the card instead of you're trying to lean it up against the wall.
I
whatever,
stand
you
corrected.
just have a
They
little
could
slot.
have.
And for all you go-getters out there who like to pimp your games, you go ahead and make one of those and send them to us because we need ideas.
Yeah.
So we're going to pause now for station identification since, it's the spectacular home of Board Game Back Cave. And we're going to go right into theme.
Theme. We don't see a lot of gangster criminal game. I mean, we see some, I guess, whatever. This one was pretty well done and everything. I mean, the theme makes the game, of course, and the cards themselves that go along with it, the actions you get to take, all kind of fit in from where you would, see them from mob movies or mob TV shows or whatever, the contracts that get sent out, or the whatever the cover-ups or the mob influence and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So the theme reverberates to all the action cards, does it really well. Nothing seemed out of place, and it all seemed to work pretty well. So I'm gonna go 7.5 on theme. Could have, didn't blow my socks off, but they did it and they did it well. So 7.5.
I'm the mobster theme is a hard one to pull off in this day and age because everybody's scared of guns and it's just, back in the 30s, I mean, not the 30s, back in the 50s even, the movies were all about the mobsters, and now, you don't see many mobster type movies.
Well, and when this card game came out, you said like 83. I mean, mobsters were even more like, they were celebrities almost still. They were right there in the time frame where
Goodfellas and
Godfather
and
stuff
all
like.
that
I mean, nowadays, sure we celebrate criminals now, but we call them politicians, But I mean, back in the day,
we vote for them now.
Yeah. So the gangsters were actually kind of in the papers and stuff like that. You're right. I don't, you couldn't make a thing like that now.
It's hard, and I was trying to think of games that had that theme, and nothing personal, of course, comes to mind. And I just can't. Do you think of any others?
Oh, with the Mafia.
Well, cash and guns.
Yeah, there's a small card game called Familia.
Yeah.
That's Mafia based. They're out there.
Almost Sons of Anarchy. I mean, it's based off a TV show, but there you play, backer gangs and stuff like that. So, but it's pretty few and far between nowadays.
It's not a heavily populated theme nowadays.
Yeah.
But this is an older game, and I think it commands the theme well for this day and age, even it being that old. Because, like I said, I've been looking for it for a couple of years. Because the first time I played it, I really wanted to get it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to 8 on the theme because I think this is a theme that needs to come back.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sticks out whenever you see a game like this now, and it's done well, So it's not one of the dozens of games that come out and that they're all pretty generic or, same thing. Yeah, I like the theme on this too.
I'm going to give it a fairly high rating, and partially based on the fact that it has been around so long and they've not given in to the pressure to repackage it, make it Zombie Mafia. I'm so glad there's none of that going on. So I'm going to give it an 8 also. It's not just out of the park stellar, but it's really strong. And I happen to also like the Mafia theme anyway, so I was inclined to like it. If you wanted to get really into it, the Mafia families, they've got them separated and categorized, historically correct, I guess you'd say, whatever. So that's kind of interesting. And they could easily come out with an anniversary edition or a deluxe edition, something that included a little information packet on all the mobsters, or even maybe have on a deluxe edition, maybe you'd have a little bio information on the card instead of just the portrait. But anyways, getting off the topic there. So I give it an 8 on that theme. I like it a lot.
All right. And the next category would be gameplay.
gameplay. We played it twice last night, and the games were all really close and really almost nerve-wracking, you know, and we don't have that a lot, you know.
It's a runaway if somebody gets a lead.
Yeah, something like that. This game was back and forth, you know. You would think you were just crushing it. And then, you know, your chances could turn around in a second or whatever. You know, if you've all got good players and stuff like that, or pretty evenly matched, the gameplay can be really intense.
It can turn on a dime.
It can, and I really liked it about it. I thought the gameplay was really, whenever I'm excited in a game and I don't know what's going to go on, and I'm really trying to plan 3 or 4 steps ahead, but I know all of y'all are too, and trying to, you know, do all that stuff, it adds something to a game. There wasn't a really dull moment in the game.
True. Yeah, right.
So I'm going to go 8-5 on gameplay. I think that was one of the elements that really stood out in this game for me.
Yeah, it's probably the reason I went after this game, because I like the way it. The cards are just placeholders, but they're really the action cards and the
strategy
the back and
and the
forth is where it gets in.
gameplay.
There's only like a dozen different types of cards.
Yeah.
So I'd say a 9 is where I would go with gameplay, because it is what makes this game viable more than anything else.
Yeah.
Totally agree. This is a game that you can rope non-gamers into. Just say, hey, it's a card game. That's all it is. Do you ever play Uno? This is Uno Mafia style. You know, this is so you're going to get people that might otherwise shy away or think, oh, I don't want to sit and learn a bunch of rules or anything. So it's just a simple, you know, cards on the table. Very easy to pick up.
I would say gameplay. I mean, you know, we played it a couple of years ago. But I think if somebody had played this before and they wanted to teach somebody, I think you could teach them and they would grasp all the intricacies of the game 5 to 10 minutes probably.
Yep.
It's an easily teachable game to be as strategy wise later on, you know. Yeah. So no learning curve for this. Really.
I described it to my wife as reverse Uno. Instead of being out of cards first, you're trying to put everybody out of cards.
Yeah, sort of.
So she immediately understood that concept.
Yep.
So I'm giving it a 9 also.
Nice.
And then replayability is the last category.
We played it twice last night, and I enjoyed it a lot last night. And I don't know if I'm going to be like, you know, 7 or 8 times down the road, still want to play it. But I could see the next 5 or 6 times, you know, playing it and whatever. And, you know, usually replayability, whenever I think replayability is high on a game, it's because it's got some strategy or some different techniques that I've learned and I want to try or go different routes or whatever. But this is not like that.
No,
you know, I think
right.
there's
The
strategies. Yeah. So there's nothing I want to try to improve on my gameplay on this game. I just think it's a quick, fun, cool game, you know, with a lot of energy and excitement to play. So I'm gonna go like a 7 on replayability. I would definitely play it another 6, 7 times whenever it comes up. But after that, it's not going to be a game that I feel like I have to play, you know. So 7.
I'm not going to pull this game out for the gamer friends.
Yeah.
Like, let's play a game. Hey, I got family business. Remember this? This is going to be the one for the non-gamers. So I'm going to pull this out for
family,
like camping trips.
Yeah.
You know, the in-laws, the cousins or whatever, people who don't normally play board games and you want to ease them in. This is the one I'm going to pull out. So it's going to get a lot of replayability, just not back to back to back. It'll be over the years. It'll come out several times, I'm sure. And it's a good game to have as a backup for people who don't want to get into the rules and the depth.
Sometimes we have so many people play. Like we'll be playing a main game, and we've got some extra 3 or 4 people. This would be a good game to kind of like, here, you know, you can play this, and then we'll
sit at the kids' table.
Yeah, exactly. That's a kids' table game, you know.
Just sit at the kids' table and put contracts out on
each
other.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of split the difference between not playing it a whole lot and playing it back to back and go with a 7.5.
Cool.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard for me because I do I like this style of game where you kind of get in a run and you want to play it a bunch of times with the same group of people and sort of to me like playing spades or playing hearts or something like that. Again, more of a traditional card game. So for that part of me, it gets a pretty high rating. But then for the more of the board gamer or strategy gamer, as you know, Jared said, you play the cards that you're dealt. You're not going to really try a lot of different tactics. You're just gonna play them out the best you can. Hope you get some luck along the way. That sort of stuff. So I'm going to just kind of split it down the middle for me and give it a 7. I'd play it anytime anybody brought it up. But you're not going to discover a lot of new things each time you play through it.
No, none of the times we played it last night did I think, man, I wish I would have done that differently. You know, you hold on to the cards, try to read your opponents, and
I know you want to take back the old death by suicide thing that you played on the last game.
Oh, there was, yes.
We got to the final game, and it was the three of us playing, and Chris and I were both on the. If you play this game, you'll find out we were on the hit list.
Yeah.
And
no, I wasn't. Yours was we were in a mob war, and your card. We were.
No, because I used the St. Valentine's Day Massacre
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
We were on the hit list, and you probably could have gotten off of it. I was going to die I was going to die on his turn, and then Chris could have had a chance with Mike. But if I was going to die, I'm taking Chris. If I got the chance, I'm taking somebody with me.
He was lined up against the wall with me, and he just
St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Took out myself and Chris, let Mike win. I said, happy birthday, and good luck.
It was all part of my strategy.
Yeah.
Worked perfect.
I think there were some back deal contracts going on. But anyway, there you have it. We're going to put our score right there on the game, and you can tell we like it in certain circumstances, and probably not everyday kind of game, but it's definitely a keeper, and so I would suggest picking it up.
Yeah.
It's cheap, and it's
I think so,
you can probably find it used somewhere. And thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week with something else.
See ya.
See you around.